Hello and welcome, everyone. So, this is going to be my very first stream, I think, that is a reprise of something that I did early on in my career of streaming. Very early on, because I was very adamant in I had a clear vision of what my mission would be with streaming overall back when I started. And Katatema's works, I had decided from way back early when that I would go through them and sort of discuss them in kind of like a book club sort of fashion. Discuss the game, discuss overarching themes present in the different works by the same developer, and how the games sort of link to each other without being, directly in the same universe in any capacity. Shared themes, shared authorial signature, essentially. So, with the benefit of having a lot more people around now, hello everyone, I think it's a good time to revisit Murasaki because this game is incredibly close to my heart. Basically, all the works of Tetsu, operating under the name Katatema, are extremely my jam. And this game and all of Katatema's works are a lot of different things at the same time. A few ways that can describe this game are bullet hell, puzzle box, physics puzzler, or billiards, or narrative game. All of those are accurate. Katatema has their most famous, probably early work is Irisu Syndrome, which released in, I believe, 2008. Yes, October 2nd, 2008, which was a downloadable software that I also plan to stream at some point here, but will require special accommodations to get working correctly, is a physics puzzler that does some weird and transcendent stuff back in 2008. And so while it may seem, the tricks it pulls may seem a little bit trite at this point, like we've seen it in games before, but it's really important to remember how Irisu Syndrome was one of the absolute first to do what it did. And yeah, speaking of Irisu Syndrome maybe feeling a little generic in the modern day because of other things aping it, Doki Doki Literature Club was, according to Conley here, one of the it took Irisu Syndrome as one of its inspirations. I happen to know that Doki Doki Literature Club also takes primary inspiration from a Nitro Plus visual novel called You and Me and Her, or at least that's how it's localized. Kimi no Kanojo to Koi, something like that. But anyway, it got localized officially in English as You and Me and Her. And Doki Doki Literature Club happens to take inspiration from that. But that is parallel to what we are discussing now. And so, Fridays are now going to be the Katatema Developer Spotlight. We will be starting with Murasaki, and then once we have 100%ed this game, we will move on to another one. Not sure if that's going to be the direct sequel to Murasaki Tsurugi, or if I will be doing a different game in the meanwhile between them. In any case, I really hope you all enjoy. This game is available on Steam for frequently goes on heavy sale for $2, I think. Yes, you can buy this game currently at this particular moment for $1. Best dollar you'll ever spend, I think. Let's get into it. Okay. Let's see, I do note for those that want to play this game yourself, when you start up on Steam, it will mention a controller setup tool, but worth noting is that the controller setup tool also allows you to adjust volume settings, and the volume settings that I recommend is the first option at 90 and the second option at like 66 or so. The default audio balance is rather off. Lower it by 1 cent? Well, my friend, I was not being perfectly accurate, as it is in fact 99 cents. Anyway, another thing Murasaki has, and similar with other games here, is a collection menu. If you play Kirby's Air Ride, this format may be familiar to you, along with some of the newer Smash Bros. Games. These are all objectives you can complete while playing the game, and your reward is more context on the world and setting of Murasaki. We start with 2 things available. The ability to listen to the main menu theme, because we've heard it. And objective. The world is in danger. To be precise, it's going to explode. You must go to the person who is about to trigger it, to the place where a sad tone rings out. We have 5 stages, and we can also select the sun symbol, which we cannot remove yet. When I first played this on stream, I opted to play as a new player would for my first playthrough, and then immediately go through the game again as an experienced player would, because this game is extremely knowledge dependent because of how esoteric its mechanics are. Stage 1, Forest of Charcoal, Sumi no Mori, where unneeded things and people end up. It is said that those who survive to form a unique civilization in its depths. We have 2 playable characters, Kairi and Satsuki. Kairi, speed, normal, range, long, explosions, normal, special, great defense, balanced and safe for beginners. Satsuki, speed, fast, range, short, explosions, strong, special, use wisely, specializes in speed and firepower. I will be doing my beginner playthrough as Kairi, and then I will do an experienced playthrough as Satsuki afterwards. Let us begin. You can shoot with the Z key. If you try and shoot again, you are restricted from doing so. If you shoot an enemy bullet, it vanishes. A health pickup. When you shoot blocks, they explode. Match the colors for a chain explosion. Oh, can't touch the blocks. Enemy contact damage, it looks like. In some way, this game is kind of like fireworks, too. Yep. I think it's fair to describe this as billiards, wouldn't you say? You can also hold X in order to use a bomb. Flashing lights. Sorry. I'll try not to use that ability too often. Nah, the game itself is billiards on a fundamental level. Bullet hell billiards. These little pink translucent stuff appears to be points. And it looks like a little bit is created every time we destroy a bullet. Let's just appreciate that background too. Very pretty visual effects. Oh. Sorry to intrude. You imbecile! Ready yourself quickly! Huh? That's an enemy! Is she talking to herself? I have no intention of getting caught without a fight. He doesn't look like a bad person. You're not going to get devoured. I'll stop him even if it means devouring each other. Three items in the collection menu. Kano. One of the many life forms produced by Ni's top-secret research. She was considered an inferior individual and was to be disposed of, but she miraculously escaped the facility and reached the Forest of Charcoal. Weakened and without food, she was about to perish there. Accept all duels. When you reach one of the clear conditions, the ones that are adjacent to the side but not vertically are revealed. It's a weird little symbol, but we have seen that. Unknown duel, it says. So I'm actually going to do a second loop of this in order to show you how to properly do a duel. Yep, the red thing that she spat out. We interrupted the conversation by just smacking her, but gotta throw a glove at the ground first. Essentially, that's more or less exactly correct. You can bump the wall. Bumping a wall picks up all the purple point items. It's not really the most efficient thing, but you can also just use your bullets as a method for clearing enemy shots as opposed to using the blocks. As is common with these kind of games, your hitbox is actually much smaller than your character sprite. I believe the hitbox is the little pound sign shaped symbol on the back of our character's cloak. Sorry to intrude. You imbecile, ready yourself quickly. Huh? That's an enemy. Way far in the background of the background, you can actually see a little disc rotating. That's actually the timer for the current phase of the fight. I have no intention of getting caught without a fight. He doesn't look like a bad person. You're not going to get devoured. I'll stop him even if it means devouring each other. And so now we have a bonus extra difficult pattern to deal with because we accepted the bloodstained duel. Similar to spell cards in Toho, yep. It's come to this, has it? I'm sorry, I might not be able to protect you. You don't have to protect me, but you mustn't give up. If we have given up halfway, we couldn't have joined up. You're right. Let's make one last flower bloom. You may have noticed that some bullets take more explosions to clear than others. Blue bullets take 2 hits to destroy. And then... Are you alright? I expose you to needless danger. I have no regrets. Whatever lies ahead, as long as I'm with you. For winning and accepting all duels, we get special background artwork. In addition, we get photographs of the boss pattern if we accept a duel, and we get statistics on how well we've done against it. Duel Kano 1. Times cleared good, once, great, 0 times. Best time in seconds, 30 seconds. Duel Kano 2. My clothes got covered in powder. This girl and I have seen each other before, but she forgot me. How sad. Stage 2, East Sea Road. Tokaido. You're proceeding along the road east of the sea when your field of view is suddenly closed off. Something seems to be happening nearby, but let's ignore it. Cool. Almost. I guess we bomb. Wow, that's a lot of lag. Moving on. Whoever she is, she left, so... Bigger fish to fry, other people to detonate. A Sukomagami, maybe. A ghostly violin. And hey, my viewers weren't the only people who learned stuff during the span of my Toho project playthrough with Dr. Nairie Bakalian. I can identify that this time as maybe being a Sukomagami. Tool Spirit. It's a big one. Boss 2. Are you ready to rock out? I never thought the day would come when I would fight you outright like this. I shall come at you with all my power. Okay. Your character is very notably chill about all this. You're right about everything. If I could redo the last 2 years, could I change fate? That aside, you don't look too good. Are you alright? Gain flashbacks to the patterns I don't like in Toho Project. He is missing his right arm and right bat wing. Assuming he's supposed to have two. Or, yeah, definitely missing his right bat wing. Is he a vampire? Suppose we'll learn more about him in a moment. We can look at the collection menu. Take this week off. I shall destroy you and the slackness in your heart. I'll shatter you. I'm not sure I would use the word slackness myself for the localization, but eh. Straight up firing shotguns at me now. Two music, one new collection item. Haiga, ranked first in the 12 magic spears. Ease, once prosperous strategic group. He led an army of dragons to invade nearby regions, and was always feared. His abilities show their power when serving a powerful master, but he has no master to serve, nor homeland to fear him. But now he has no master to serve, nor homeland to fear him. Let's see. So it looks like we'll be learning more about these characters after we accept all duels as the other characters. Enclosed World and Fruitless Noisy War. Stage 2 theme, Haiga's theme. Stage 3, 100 Eye Lake. Hyaku Meko. In the not-so-distant past, there were water people here who met a tragic end. You should be close to making it through the caves they used to inhabit. Splish splash. If the frame rate seems a little low, folks, on your end of the stream, note that I am running this stream in as high quality as I possibly can. The low frame rate is actually an aspect of this game being rather old. I don't think there's any way to make it run smoother. It is just how Murasaki is. Whoa. Another maybe Sukomagami. Some parts of the game definitely run smoother than others, but there doesn't seem to be any actual way to mitigate it in any meaningful way. This game runs at an inconsistent frame rate. If any of you who decide to play along at home find a solution, I'd be interested to hear it. They don't call it a violin. They don't call them violins for nothing. I was trying to make a violins and violence sounding alike joke, that's all. That's cool. Bonking the wall after creating an explosion is now so incredibly automatic to me that it's hard to remember that I'm trying to play amateurishly. Oh. Distant Thunder is the name of the song, apparently. Or Distant Thunder something. How do you fare, sir? Great. I mean, I could stand to not have you trying to kill me, but... Oh my god, I just made a mental connection about this game and the sequel that I can't express. How would you like me to tell your fortune? Hooray! Bum ba da bum. Ta-da! Great misfortune. So you can kind of tell why I've mentioned before that I kind of thought this game was poorly translated initially, but I think it's actually just that everyone in this game is nuts to some degree. There are no reliable narrators here. Nobody is doing okay. It's kind of neat how he doesn't attack himself very much. He's entirely a minion master type boss. And then here we definitely need to take advantage of Kyrie being able to bounce the bullets off the top of the screen to shoot downward. Huh. Well, that was interesting and unfortunate. We weren't offered a duel, because we timed out. If you take too long on a bullet pattern, you'll hear it. And then after a few of those, the pattern will time out. If you ever time out a bullet pattern, you will not be offered duels from that point on. So, basically, he didn't respect me. I wonder if I could have one. The red one. Also the black one. Rururu. A taster from a water clan that lived near the world's center. The clan's job was to warn of disasters in the world by observing water currents. The taster would be isolated in the uppermost stream and taste the water. But one day, bitter water killed most of the clan. Peace out, scrub. Exactly. Enclosed range. A narrow zone developed by fundamental energy. By giving it stimulation, such as a jolt, you can gather the fundamental energy within this range. Collect energy within the range by bumping into the walls. So apparently points are energy, I guess? Ko, Otsu, and Te. 3 fish that Rururu loves, and has even taught some basic tricks. The fish are experimental bioweapons produced by Ni that have gone wild. They are basically immortal, but will die if they touch salt water. Guess we'll skip the duel and just keep going. Stage 4, House at Night, Yoru no Ie. A house that was able to boast a brief period of glory carried by good fortune at its situation. Let's pass through and do some sightseeing. Your destination is near. Fishing for lapis lazuli in a pond on the moon. Distant thunder tells of a lost child. Enclosed world, 2 halves. Some of the song titles at least make sense. 2 halves is... that's Kano's theme, right? And she kind of talks to herself. Fruitless Noisy War for Haiga's theme, and he appears to be a general. The music is also an unreliable narrator. Yeah, sure. Speaking of good music. Hey, Trady. And thank you, Conley. This seems dangerous.
Subscriptions to the community.
Thank you as always, Lady Havoc. And I hope you're enjoying the show. Another one. Oh. Chill, jazzy tunes to relax and make explosions to. You two are like clockwork, aren't you? Deeply appreciated as always. This is scary. Nope, bombing. Dun, 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 dun. Ah. Please. Go back. Great timing, Diablo. Thank you. Story A, Part 1. While inspecting a key site, a prince overheard a performance by the quartet and was spellbound. He invited the four to his birthday festival, asking them to perform a piece. He thought that showing the four worldlets in harmony could express his ideals, unaware that, in others' eyes, this was seen as an unthinkably reckless act. Plant scented dreaming. No duels? No boss means no duels. Stage 5, Hope Field. Nozomi Gahara. The length and strength of her feelings assimilate her body with the power of fundament. When her heart has reached its limit, she will share her fate with the world. Yep, new block type. Do you hear piano in the distance? Okay, don't do that. Understood. We did it? Yuna, an instrument. 2 new songs. Yuna, a poor girl in a poor village. Yuna had one pleasure, sneaking out of the village and playing a blue instrument left behind the mountain. She continued to create music alone, never letting anyone hear. One day, she was performing as usual when 3 people passed by. An instrument, a relic of Fundament abandoned at Hope Field. Yuna's performance summoned 3 people who had been walking separate paths, and they formed the Quartet after an incident roughly 3 years ago. At this point, we have quite a lot of unlockable conditions revealed. 10 stages is Kairi. Accept all duels both players. 1 to 5 in order is Satsuki. Kozuyo. Clear stage 4, accept all duels. Stage 4 is the one where we didn't even have a boss fight. But we have a name, and we have the implication that there are duels to experience. We missed something in stage 4. Yuna, conditions, clear game. After all, we failed. Shiho, conditions, timeout stage 5 mid-boss unharmed without specials. Clear the opening of stage 2 unharmed without specials. Earn points. Timeout stage 5 mid-boss unharmed without specials. So as you might expect, what we got was the bad ending. According to the objective, someone, when their heart reaches their limit, they will share their fate with the world, which is what happened that we witnessed. She slowly died and with her, brought the world with her. So I need to time this out without taking any hits. I don't know which one has the name that we saw, so I guess I'll just no-hit all of these. We only found 3 Tsukomogami, though. Again, running on the assumption that they are. Oh, right. Of course. Oh. I thought you'd be here. What amazing deja vu. Come on, we don't have time for chatter. Okay, let's begin. How about you, Yuna? We're starting. Are you ready? Just don't hold us back, okay? Of course. After all, I've practiced quite a lot myself. This isn't really good enough. Should I get serious soon? Let's go, Yuna. Enemy health bar. It's pretty nostalgic, this feeling. The same thing has happened before, right? We need to thank Yuna, the one who drew everyone together. No, I didn't. I was just waiting. We need to give our wholehearted thanks to the ones who brought you all here. They're our true protagonists of this story. Pretty much. I definitely understand the argument. Using up all our strength in front of an audience of 2. We're playing great, aren't we? Maybe, but it's not just the number of guests that's important, right? Yes, I agree. Besides, I'm sure Kairi will accept all of our passion. A gorgeous detail. That bullet pattern looks like flapping wings. Not long now. All things come to an end. Clinging to something that has ended can sometimes feel good. But we're different. We have to finish soon. I have no regrets or doubts anymore. I'll just do what I want to do. Absolutely love to see y'all chatting and theorizing in the chat. It's something that I couldn't do before. And so in a way, this is making my wishes come true like theirs. If you'll permit me being a bit cheesy. Overly sentimental. An annual stream feature, perhaps. Another visit to the quartet. Game cleared. S. Satsuki. That's horribly irritating. Kyrie. Yeah. You're right. What is? Your refreshed face. How mean. You're a nuisance. Get lost. How mean. I'm going to sleep. Right here. Me too. Do what you want. Are you... Are you really you? Huh? Usually you'd be troubled and pessimistic now. You wouldn't be like this. I guess the answer to that question depends on the definition of my true self. Let's see. Games are made by people, by the way. We have reached credits, but we are only barely scratching the surface here, and I have a lot more to do. Shouts to Yomogi Mochi, because this game is utterly gorgeous. Shoutouts to Watson, aka Musmus, because the music in this is absolutely gorgeous. We have a whole other character to play as. We've got a colossal collection menu. We have a boss that we missed. We have a duel that we missed. And everyone lived ever after. Kairi, Yuna, Kusagi, Tomato, Shiho. Kairi, an excellent prince, albeit protected by a great power. His fondness for new experiments turned the old classes against him, and I became a fugitive. Exposed to wandering, team fortune, world destruction, and environmental change, his mind chose to restructure before it broke. Yuna. Oh, since this is a two-parter, I'll read both of them. A poor girl in a poor village. Yuna had one pleasure, sneaking out of the village and playing a blue instrument left behind the mountain. She continued to create music alone, never letting anyone hear. One day she was performing as usual when 3 people passed by. They all got along well and began to perform as a quartet sometimes. Though they didn't have a single listener, Yuna was content. But one day, the trio disappeared, saying that they should play together again someday. Yuna continues to wait, for a day which will never come. Kusagi. His parents gained their status through music, and he too chose that path. His talents were recognized, but one day something felt wrong. He was not creating, only killing himself to fulfill the desires of clients and being compensated in gold. He left abruptly on a journey. Tomato. Called the genius artist since childhood, she reached great popularity, but one day she could no longer move her brush and vanished from center stage, after coming across a clumsy, nameless painting. She had no hopes of ever painting a picture in pure enjoyment like this. Oh, okay. But one day she could never move her brush and vanished from center stage after coming across a clumsy, nameless painting. She had no hope of ever painting a picture in pure enjoyment like this. I had kind of misparsed that center statement. She was painting extremely skilled but found no joy in it, and seeing someone who had just splashed colors on the canvas made her realize, what am I even doing? A bit of a violence content warning on this next one. It's rather grim. Shiho's poor parents raised him as a girl to keep him from becoming a specimen for Nee's experiments. Before the lie reached its limits, Shiho destroyed his own testes and passed the inspection safely. But later, girls were targeted as specimens too, and Shiho fled. To discover tomorrow, someday in that place, triplet, rainbow colors, the scent of dreams lingering in the sky. Survives stage 4, mid-boss unharmed without specials. We can click on these or we can select these in order to learn more about them. Kusagi, birthday 2/24, hobbies outdoor naps, likes the period after rain, dislikes weather turning cloudy. Snake symbol. Tomato, birthday 8/10, hobbies keeping fit, likes effort, persimmons, the queen, dislikes things that aren't a matter of effort. Symbol wings. Shiho, birthday 8/26, hobbies gazing at the sea and drifting off, likes rice balls and the sea, dislikes unreasonable requests. A pair of roses is their symbol. Yuna, birthday 12/16, hobbies performing, likes everybody smiles, radishes, dislikes farewells. Vaguely pound symbol shape is their symbol. Pound sign. Okay. This scenery, this music. Oh, my brain. This was all a calamity of my doing, destruction of my bringing. My heart was struck by your performance that day, and I pressed my unreasonable wishes upon you. Thinking about it now, this might have been troublesome act, merely forcing my own selfish ideals on others. My impulsive actions troubled you, harmed you, and in the end brought about the worst of results. It's always like this. My experiments to change the present and create a better future all backfired. I lacked foresight and the ability to see the bigger picture. You weren't tools, I realized too late. I placed a heavy burden on Kairu through my disappearance. My brother became a puppet, and I couldn't keep him from bringing about the worst of situations. I was so hopeless, but your kind voices called to me. That alone rescued me. Stage 6, Execution Site. Kubikirijo Atochi. You've received a letter of challenge, so let's go and check it out. In addition, Dream is now selectable, and we can replay the game in unprotected mode. It's time to play through the game. Me doing the best I can as Satsuki, doing everything correctly. Satsuki moves very fast, has an extremely short-range shot. This means it's very difficult to clear anything far away from you in any meaningful capacity, except for the obvious. Her shots propel blocks a lot further. Kairi, you can kind of get away with just shooting at blocks in order to clear bullets. But Satsuki, you need to think about the projectile bounces. Satsuki is a character all about trick shots, in a way. Hey, Juneflower. This game is so cool. It's also $1. I just got the true ending as Kairi, so I'm moving on to doing I was playing as Kairi, playing in the style of a beginner, and so now I'm doing a professional run as Satsuki. And with the beginner's experience taken care of, I am now going to discuss all of the hidden mechanics and oddities in this game. Things that I sort of glossed over earlier. You gradually regain health if you don't take consecutive damage. So there's definitely a reason to... You're greatly rewarded if you take one hit and then take no hits afterwards. There we go, you get that. Could I ask a sudden question? We're not going to ask a sudden question. Huh? Why? There's only death. Tsurugi is fantastic, yes. It also has several playability accommodations, such as a consistent frame rate and fundament blocks are on your side. You don't destroy them by touching. She doesn't look like a bad person. If you don't want to die, then quit complaining. The pulse within me tells that she is the embodiment of evil. Really? It's very awkward going from Tsurugi back to the first game, because in Tsurugi you don't need to worry about overlapping the blocks. And it's very easy to forget that. Yeah, the characters in Tsurugi are very good too. I don't intend to stay quiet and get exterminated. I'll struggle until the very last moment. Wait. I'm sure she's not a bad person. I'll protect you to the end. It's also fundamentally a game that plays a little bit on your expectations from being a sequel. Katatema is very good at that kind of thing. I thought the world had abandoned us long ago. Look, she wasn't a bad person. She only left us half dead. In some ways, Murasaki Tsurugi will indulge what you imagine a sequel would have, or a Murasaki game would have, and in some ways subverts it. In a very intentional seeming way. So, as before, since each of these entries take the form of two entries, I'll be reading both of them, even though we've read the first one, because they're two parts. Kano, one of the many life forms produced by Ni's top-secret research. She was considered an inferior individual and was to be disposed of, but she miraculously escaped the facility and reached the Forest of Charcoal. Weakened and without food, she was about to perish there. She called out to a girl passing by, for food, for help. The girl had been abandoned due to lack of food and faced certain death. The girl granted her wish without hesitation, placing her on her head and uniting with her. Even now, the two nestle together, spitting spores. A companion you can depend on, huh? Codependence is one of the forms of strong bonds. The wording here is interesting. Weakened and without food, she was about to perish there. Then, she called out to a girl passing by for food for help. The girl had been abandoned due to lack of food and faced certain death. The girl granted her wish without hesitation, placing her on her head and uniting with her. Kano, birthday 216, hobbies chatting, afternoon naps, likes rain, companions, dislikes scale insects, hats. Rose symbol. But if we read this carefully, there's only one explanation that makes the pronoun use here make any sense. Kano is two people, and the Kano that is described at the start here is the flower. Weakened and without food, the flower was about to perish there. She, the flower, called out to a girl passing by for food for help. The girl had been abandoned due to lack of food and faced certain death. The girl granted her wish without hesitation, placing her, the flower, on her head and uniting with her. Even now, the two nest together, spitting spores. The abandoned girl was this flower. C. A large body of water that exists at the center of the world. This water forms rivers and carries its blessings through the four worldlets. It's no coincidence that the names of E's rulers have included the word Kai for generations. Jodariel, that is actually an interesting note that the translator specifically mentioned is up to interpretation. Which of the two is the aggressive one versus the one who's like saying she's not a bad person? It's intentionally unclear and very specifically done so that way. They're both girls, one is a flower. They've merged together, one of which is aggressive and fearful, and the other of which is very kind and accommodating and perhaps a bit too overly trusting. On to the next. As this is a professional playthrough, damn, so close. Let me actually redo that. There. Oh, come on. I want to get the credit for doing this without taking damage. There's an audio cue that I'm listening for. There we go. That should do it. Excellent. And by doing that, we are going to learn who that is. What is your deal? Thinking of Lice Girls just makes me think of the Zraf Star enemy in Pronoun Palace, and by extension, Porpentine. Damn it. Thanks, Shiho. New Porpentine game coming soon. Really? Yeah. It's time to talk about another secret mechanic. Bonus conversations. If you accept all duels with a boss, and finish the boss at above 90% health or so, upon killing them, they'll say something else. We've actually seen this several times with Kano earlier. The only reason she spoke to us at the end. Are you ready to die? I am ready to die. The only reason she spoke to us at the end of the fight was because we had actually won at high health. Unfortunately, I'm already significantly below the threshold for this one, so no bonus dialogue this time. You gotta really use your bombs and be very conserving of your resources. Can you keep going like this? If our positions were reversed, how would you respond? What's the point of this fight? You know what? Screw you. I merely obey orders. You're loyal, continuing to obey a ghost. Is that really all it is? I'll shatter you. Haiga, ranked first in the 12 Magic Spears, Yi's once prosperous strategic group. He led an army of dragons to invade nearby regions and was always feared. His abilities show their power when serving a powerful master, but now he has no master to serve, nor homeland to fear him. He survived on the border of Ro, storing up power. Leading an elite team and wielding the Kokai Ryuto, he attacked the pillar at the center of the world. But on their way there, they were bitten by a dog and scattered. And in the midst of this, who should appear but... He led an elite force to attack the pillar at the center of the world, and then was bitten by a dog, lost his arm and wing, and killed all of his compatriots.
subscriptions to the community.
Havoc, you're wonderful. Birthday, 9/17. Hobbies, journal writing. Likes, firm organization, rice dumplings and bean paste. Dislikes, people who disturb order. And that is the symbol of E. The nation of the worldlet of E. That little pound sign-esque symbol. Ayame. About a year ago, this elusive being led a troop of fundament and destroyed half of the world. She is the worst of dangers to the world, but she doesn't have much to do with the story, so you needn't worry. If you meet her, just think of it as being bitten by a dog. No profile. Oh! So yes. The reason Haiga is alone, at 20% health, missing an arm and a wing, is the same reason that we got killed on our first loop of playing this game. Ayame flew by, blasted him with the same attack she blasted me with, and then left. On the way there, they were bitten by a dog and scattered. Not great, but not bad. This happened because you didn't train your lower body. Ice cold. Stage 3, 100 Eye Lake. Satsuki seriously out here saying, you skipped leg day. Skill issue, skill issue. Waterfall. Okay, let's see if I can do this one. Nope. Because of Satsuki's very fast shots, she is uniquely positioned to take very quick and cheeky attacks against enemies directly. It's very easy to discount the fact that you can just run up and start punching the opponent. Easy to forget. Right. Shoutouts to Musmus / Watson. I believe, like Kevin MacLeod / Incompetech, I believe that Musmus releases free with attribution music for use in your own projects. But the website's in Japanese, so you'll have to be careful, because, you know, legal and copyright usage conditions written in Japanese, I think, so. See? Good day. We're at maximum health, and I want to keep it that way. Ice cold line coming up. It appears you will not be stopped even if I wasted 1,000,000 words on you. Since it's come to this, please continue over my dead body. Understood. Damn, Satsuki. Ooh, if that was a real waste of blocks there. Can't be helped. It appears you will not be stopped even if I waste 1,000,000 words on you. Since it's come to this, please continue over my dead body. We heard that before, dude. What's this? I can see an ill omen like none before it. For me. Were the experience we see of Ni originally human? What do you mean experiments we see? Like, we know Kano exists, and we know that Shiho was seeked out for experiments. Oh, right, and Ruru's fish, I forgot about that. Although in order to get Ruru's detail, we'll actually need to go and play as Kairi again, because we missed that duel. Actually, I think from the details we have, we can work out that yes, Ni's experiments were human, because Shiho's description. And likewise, we can determine that the symbol for the worldlet of Ni is those roses. Shiho's description is again, Shiho's poor parents raised him as a girl to keep him from becoming a specimen for Ni's experiments. Before the lie reached its limits, Shiho destroyed his own testes and passed the inspection safely. But later, girls were targeted as specimens too, and Shiho fled. Yeah. Yeah. Shiho is non-binary. Albeit for kind of an extremely depressing reason, but nonetheless. We'll learn more about Shiho in another descriptor after we achieve a small milestone. Which is why I specifically say that they're non-binary. Not just because, yeah. We'll get more details on Shiho, is what I'm saying. I'm not pulling that out of thin air based on what we just saw. I don't think that's going to count. Thanks, Fundament Block, for ruining my attempt at a no damage clear. See you, dude. I wonder if the stage execution site has a bonus dialogue. I have reason to believe it doesn't, because simply clearing the level itself gives you a death conversation. So I don't think clearing it at max health would change it, because a death conversation already exists. Whereas with everything else, it's simply they don't talk to you when they die. After we clear this through this with Satsuki, we might scrounge for a couple more collection items, and then after that, we will challenge the execution site as Satsuki. Worth noting, attempts at the execution site are probably going to last for the entire rest of the stream once we start it. Execution site is in fact incredibly difficult. Please. Was it you who disturbed my slumber? You wretched vermin! Completely optional boss fight. Hell, I go farther than to say optional by saying this is a secret boss fight. You need to very specifically destroy the corner flowers without damaging the center cocoon. What is wrong with you? God! Aren't you listening to what I'm saying? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What the hell is up with you? What is up with you? I get already. Accidentally landed that one early. My bad. And yes, this boss fight is rather tough. Well, that should be evident just from looking. Fair bit harder than any of the ones prior. She sped up. Caught me really off guard there. Ugh. So sleepy. It'd be easier if you went to sleep. Ugh. Before I go to sleep, first I'll deal with you. I kinda love how utterly heartless Satsuki is. Just absolutely ice cold. Love that artwork. Kozuyo, the daughter of a ruined family whose status and wealth came from a well of energy. Its value slumped due to E's energy agency, and they went bankrupt. She lost her parents, but ironically kept her house as the land was now cheap. Kozuyo swore to restore it herself. Fundament, a word that vaguely describes the substrate of the world or those who control it. Example, this world was created by Fundament, spoken in a hoarse voice. The energy that fills the land and air, which were created by Fundament, is called fundamental energy. Star-crowned E. And there's the kingdom worldlet symbol. A worldlet with excellent organizational abilities. Kairi's father's generation were expansionists who stole resources from nearby lands, plotting world domination. Kairi was meant to succeed the throne, but after a dispute, his weak-willed younger brother Kairu did instead. Right. Not great, not bad. They'll never die. Huh. I hear the Water Clan who told the bad omens were often... I hear the water... Come on. I hear that the Water Clan who told of bad omens were often hated. She just wouldn't listen to reason. Jeez, calm down. Satsuki may be ruthless to her enemies. Hello, Nairi. We were discussing Tsukomogami earlier. We are doing our second loop of this game. My first loop I played as a beginner, and this time I'm playing as an experienced player because this game is very knowledge dependent. This is a bullet hell game about learning because there's lots of secret esoteric mechanics and multiple endings and stuff. But yeah, we were discussing Tsukomogami, and I was actually mentioning that I know that word because of you, Nairi. Yeah. Hurrah! Good old Yakuza. But yeah. This is the finale stage here. And we need to do something secret and specific. We need to not attack any of these instruments. The basic plot of this game is that the world is going to explode soon, and the reason is that there is an individual who's going to share her fate with the world. A begrudged spirit. I suppose grudge is the wrong word, because it's just a soul who suffered deep, deep misfortune. Regret, yeah. Yuna. Cool. Well, now I can't afford to make any mistakes if I want the ending dialogue. Great decision, Moo. Is that the term? Hungry Ghost? That's not Nairi, that's F. Zoe Blackheart. Nairi is Riverside Wings. Could you do a slash shout out for me, F. Zoe? Oh? Thanks. Has the same thing happened before? Okay, let's begin. Just like we did back then. How about you, Yuna? Are you ready? Just don't hold us back, okay? Of course. After all, I've waited a long time for this. The bosses have had bombs, it's just that bombs on their side are represented by the duels. Them declaring a duel by spitting blood is them expending one bomb. The game equates it. Yep, her expression changed. Relief, enjoy it, gain to perform just one more time. This isn't really good enough. Time for things to heat up soon? Let's go, Yuna. Sick piano solo. And then once again, I would like to point out the health bar. Okay, I cannot stay near the bottom there. I have to pick one of the edges. Yuna, are you nervous? No matter how spectacularly you mess up, it doesn't affect us. Play with all your heart, Yuna. Yes, thank you. I have to show you the fruits of my training. Like, yeah, I'm not getting the max health thing, but I hope I don't die. Goodness gracious. Get it together, Moo. Our audience is just 2 people. We've got a terrific audience. Does it matter whether the audience is good or bad? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But there's no mistake about this. We've got the people I most wanted to hear this here. No bombs, so I can't skip this parent in any way. Okay, that green. There. Final attack. No matter how bad things are, they will end someday. Indeed, the present is always the worst time. Yuna, you're making a face like it's the end of the world. It really is the end, though. Be quiet. Yes, I understand. Now that the bad things have ended, we have to finish too. Let's finish this beautifully. Getting a bit stranded here. Come on. That's what I needed. Oh. The prince makes sense, but why does Satsuki care? A good question. Kairi. Satsuki. Seems like you're in a good mood. Why do you think that? You're making that kind of face. Really? Get lost. I'm going to sleep soon. Woohoo! Me too, me too. How long are you gonna sleep? Until tomorrow. What'll you do tomorrow? If nothing happens, let's go look at the sea together. I guess the sea is kind of ordinary. Then let's go look at the sky. You sure are quick to fall asleep. You've seen the credits already. That's a lot of unlocks. Back then, when I came back after a year had passed, the village was deserted. We were able to fill our long overdue promises to each other. Music was something I don't really understand, but I accepted their feelings. Story B, Part 1. In the middle of a remote, little-known village in E, a hole opened up without any warning. After this, the villagers steadily lost their will to live until all they did was breathe. The same happened to the visiting trio. Village girl Yuna, the only one unaffected, cried desperately for help with the power of her wondrous performance. Satsuki, the former number 2 of Team Fortune, a small-scale group that works to deliver smiles to the world. No real hobbies. About average height. Born January 1st. Quick on her feet. Her special skill is speed eating. Always thinking that she'd like to have a long sleep if possible. Through Satsuki's actions, the world crisis has passed for today, but this is no more than a temporary measure. Its fate is unchanged. Go, go, Satsuki. No matter how tired you are, rub those sleepy eyes. It's thanks to you that half the world remains safe. Satsuki, birthday 1-1. Hobbies, none. Likes, none. Dislikes, none. Interesting and notable, which I don't think I noticed myself until just this moment. When you select her, she doesn't have a worldlet tag. Satsuki is unaffiliated. Quartet. A group of performers composed of 4 men and women. 3 of them opposed the politicians of E and fled, but were captured. One's ears were removed, one's eyes were crushed, and another's tongue and throat were smeared with poison. They were then executed in a manner symbolizing string instruments as an example to others. So, some personal context on Stage 6 execution site. I would like to ask you, community, a question. How to word this? Do you have any gaming white whales? Things that you have tried and tried and tried, objectives you wanted to complete but just could not ever manage. You come back to the game, give it another try, leave, fail, try again, fail, pick it up another day, fail again. Adley or Iris 2? This one's mine. And in fact, my first go-around of this, playing this game on stream, I brought it up a lot. But you know what? I am older now, and I'm now also forged in the fires of Touhou. Meet normal difficulty 1 credit clears. There's going to be a learning period, but let's see how I do. Okay. Half of this is going to be relearning what the patterns and dance that the game requires of this level is. Requires of you in this level. Ah. That blue one was a health pickup. Blue enemies, you've probably noticed this at this point, but blue enemies, if you kill them, drop a health. Red enemies drop a bomb. This stage is literally the only time it ever comes up, but you do actually have a bomb carry limit. And this means if you want to save up as many bombs as possible for the boss, you are actually allowed to use one bomb during the stage itself. Oh, we're here already. Not bad. Not bad at all. Here we go. Patchwork Princess. You're late. Now, shall we perform? Oh cool, that bomb did nothing. Death by wriggle kick. Not bad for a very first attempt. Guillotine of Thorns and Patchwork Princess are the two songs. That ain't it. I was trying to shoot down the blue guy there, but one of my bullets grazed one of the blocks, which means that I wasn't allowed to shoot again. And so I just sort of stood in front of it like an idiot. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Ooh. That was a good shot. Goodness. I really wasn't certain if I was going to be able to pull off that kind of angle. Okay, much better situation to enter the fight in. You're late. Now, shall we perform? Too late. Timing out. Defeating you when you're injured would be boring. Use this. I don't think pity is a word that exists for this woman. Out of bombs. Here we go. Alright, starting to relearn it. That's progress, my friends. Silver White Row. One of the worldlets has a cold, harsh environment. They value martial arts and are tempered by this harsh environment, so their individual physical and fighting capabilities are extremely high. Many have wild dispositions, and they tend to be poor at cooperating. Hope-filled Ha. Destroy 100,000 junk pieces in total. Tree-covered Knee. Destroy 10,000 enemies in total. All right. That went real sketchy there, but... Got him. Great timing for a yellow block, I'll say. Thanks for that game. Slime is groovy, that's correct. Local slime hears banger music. Right. Remember your method for doing this, Moo. Well, it's too late at this point, but you're late. Now, shall we perform? And here's my method for doing this one. Hate that pattern. You can just bomb. You get a few patterns that you get to say, nuh-uh. Killing you with explosives. Ha! My fucking pattern. Blows up pattern with bomb. Forgot to prepare correctly. Yes, yes. Break the 2 gemstones on your head. Unleash your full potential. Defeating you when you're injured would be boring. Use this. Yeah. That bound didn't achieve much. That shot did, though. Die. I was in the middle of saying, I don't really like this pattern. It's simple, but I bomb it because it's too random. Had a barm charge up and everything. Get out of my way. I mean, the thing is this game has a singular difficulty level. Well, no, that's not actually true, but we'll get to that later. And so I only play the Toho games on normal. This, I'd say, is definitely on par with some of the extra stages in Toho, if not harder than some of them. I just have a ton of practice on this in particular. Because like I mentioned, this was my personal white whale. I put many, many hours in trying to beat this. This absolute nightmare. And that's the thing. On stream, I did beat it. I have done this before. Conley got to witness me beat this stage for the first time in my life. Along with anyone else who was there for the initial Murasaki streams way back when. Tonight is night 2. Here's hoping. That's the plan. As you might imagine, the sequel game Murasaki Tsurugi also has an extra stage, but that one is significantly easier than this one is. That one I was able to clear with both characters without, relatively speaking, too much difficulty. A lot of focus across several sessions, but after like 4 sessions of attempts, I managed to get it. I managed to become fairly consistent. Not entirely happy with using a bomb there, but gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, directly below her. Directly below her. Veered to the side a little too early. You're late. Now shall we perform? Die. Oh, we're dancing counterclockwise this time. Let's see how I handle that. No problem. That was a beautiful use of a bomb. That was a bad shot. Maybe I shoot her directly more for that one. Ugh. Terrible. All right. Half health, 3 bombs, phase 2. Feeding you when you're injured would be boring. Use this. That's what I needed. There we go. Oh, I ate that one directly. That sucks. Just realized the strategy for that parent that I'd never conceptualized until just now. Oh my god, just do a 1. You're quite good. By the way, the younger brother of mine, he's matured, has a nice atmosphere to him now. I'll give him to you if you want. I'll give him to you if you want. He'd suit you. You sure have a way with words. There's only so many possibilities on who she could mean. This is what I call a resource gain pattern. The purpose of that pattern is to let you have time so you can build up more fundamental energy on the field. Fundament blocks. Dragon guy? No. Wrong place, wrong place. There we go. That is Rinko. We know this because the collection menu, if you find an adjacent one, the unlock conditions say defeat Rinko in the same way that it does for each of the other boss unlock conditions. And with blue hair and being from that world lit. Oh, hey, look at me doing the same thing again. There we go. Okay, don't get twisted. The next one's coming up. Got him. This is another build-up pattern. Resource build. Have you ever played a bullet hell shooter that mixes billiards and where resource management is a genuine concern, and not just in the form of, like, whether or not you use bombs? Fundament blocks are a resource. You can spend them willy-nilly rapidly in order to cause lots of small explosions, but those won't destroy any of the red bullet projectiles, because those have 3 armor. There's certain patterns that you can afford to just do small explosions, and there's other patterns where you absolutely have to... Blech. Hit them with a huge, like, 5-chain nuke. Pretty poor stage performance. Let's see how I do on the boss itself. Of course, this doesn't help here. Oh! Let's go! You're late. Now shall we perform? If by when does Bad Apple play you mean an absolutely fire song, then the answer is right now. Also, happy to see you, Beep Doggy. Yeah, I think this is a shoot her directly kind of pattern. Once you understand this pattern, it's pretty easy. But until you understand this, it's just insta-kills you. She alternates between doing a forward strike and a circular strike. That's all there is to it. So it's stand close to her, then get behind her, then stand close to her, then get behind her. And as long as you just follow that pattern. Defeating you when you're injured would be boring. Use this. Cool. Delay. Delay to build up resources. Okay. Learning my lesson this time. Bombing the stupid pattern they hate. Duel 1. You're quite good. By the way, that younger brother of mine, he's matured and has a nice atmosphere to him now. I'll give him to you if you want. He'd suit you. You sure have a way with words. There, that's how this pattern's supposed to go. I don't know why I screwed it up so heavily last time. Resource buildup. And then followed by another resource buildup pattern. That didn't work. That did. Please. Okay. Duel 2. That sword isn't yours. A rider doesn't throw away his saddle when the horse dies. He takes it off and keeps using the same one. In other words, the saddle can't choose its master. If you think about what's best for the tool, don't you think it's good to let it serve a different master occasionally? Maybe so. Really wish I had a bomb right now. Really wish I had a bomb. Getting further. Apparently she's had her eye on me, although I don't know why. That's a lot more consistent. That isn't, though. Yeah, I just need to bomb that bottom group. Trying to take out both the red fellows to get 2 bombs without spending 1 bomb in order to get them just doesn't really work. Fell for it again, award. If I manage to clear this as Satsuki, we'll play as Kairi, but I'm better at this as Satsuki, and this is how it's going. Oh. Didn't fall for it this time. I actually moved out of the way. One thing I really like about this game is that because of the chaos theory sort of nature of fundament blocks, you gotta improvise a lot in this game. It's never quite the same. Ah, missed the health pickup. But I also didn't take damage, so... Ugh. Got the red one. You're late. Now, shall we perform? Nice. Alright. Close. Behind. Close. Behind. Close. Behind. Close. Behind. Close. Behind. Running out of time. Good. Doing good on resources and on health. Mediocre on health, great on resources. Defeating you when you're injured would be boring. Use this. Oh, no, that was beautiful. Okay. You're quite good. By the way, that younger brother of mine, he's matured and has a nice atmosphere to him now. I'll give him to you if you want. He'd suit you. You sure have a way with words. Whew. As sketchy as that was, that actually worked really well. That built up so much resources. It just looked like the verge of disaster at every given second. That was dumb. Okay. That sword isn't yours. A rider doesn't throw away his saddle when his horse dies. He takes it off and keeps using the same one. In other words, the saddle can't choose its master. If you think about what's best for the tool, don't you think it's good to let it serve a different master occasionally? Maybe so. Progress. I was dead if I didn't bomb there. We're almost there, folks. I feel proud of myself for having been charmed by you at first sight. Now come, make me stronger. I see. I think I understand your feelings. So, when shall we have a rematch? Anytime's fine, even straight away. Oh, I'm lightheaded. Rinko. She behaved as a well-mannered princess, but loved life and death battles. However, she rarely encountered such fights in her position. Even if she set one up, no opponent would face her at full force. Her explosive, dissatisfied urges often turned to her little brother. Apparently she's had her eye on me, although I don't know why. Perfecting an imitation without losing yourself is not a simple thing. I admire her quiet gracefulness wearing extravagant clothes in front of her people. Legend rides again. Hell yeah. Also, now that we've beaten one stage as both characters, our protagonists appear on the title screen. So, we are going to do a couple of things now. One, we are going to experience Dream. Second, I'm going to show you what Unprotected is. And then after that, next Friday, we are going to return to this game, and we are going to complete the collection. So, let's do one session of Dream. I'll do it as Kairi. Welcome to the bizarre score attack single level mode. I'd love to have an emote of Moo that's manic in that same style, but unfortunately I will not be hiring the person who did those emotes for me again. Oh, something's happening. Yeah, pardon me. Boom. Mini boss killed. I'm still so happy that I cleared that. I'm really proud of myself. That's the stream session ain't going too well, but It's true, it's true. It's like a metaphor or something. I've been bitten by the stray dog of streaming for 2 years-ish. Which has scattered the forces of inexperience. Please do not refer to the white whale as that. Very good. I'll allow it, I suppose. Is it really? Wait. I don't... I think you're messing with me now. Okay, okay. I'm not too great at joke parsing while also dodging bullets. It was wild to hear that there's folks that can't speak and play games and entertain all at the same time. Like, it makes sense that it's not a common skill set. But, I don't know, I've just always been good at, like, school presentations and stuff. And just... my ability to talk and focus on other things at the same time has never been too tough for me. The stream's getting a little crowded. Wish I could bomb the dream I had last night. Good lord, that was really unpleasant. Forged in the fires of bullet hell. Wow, that metaphor worked even better than I expected it to while I first opened my mouth there. Ooh. Ah! Enough with the homing. And as a reminder, this game is currently 80% off on Steam, leaving it $1. If you like what you see here, you can play this game yourself for $1. Almost out of health. Time to use all my resources. Go out with a bang. Less of a bang than I would have liked. Mediocre. Ugh. Library. Togamori. Reach level 100 and dream with Kairi. Earn 1 million points and dream as Kairi. And, as mentioned, unprotected. It is New Game Plus. Sexy streaming is what I do on my other channel, call me. This is a joke. At the time of this recording, at least. Diablo, I'm sorry, but I'm going to destroy your joke. Only flans. Yep. I gotta say, OnlyFlans is a pretty good art hashtag, But alas, the art hashtag is already taken, and it is Viscusy. Shoutouts to Geeky Manatee on Twitch here for coming up with that particular pun. While I was trying to workshop what I should have the art tag be. Hello, Kano. Could I ask a certain question? We're not going to ask a certain question. Huh? Why? There's only death. Whoa! She doesn't look like a bad person. If you don't want to die, then quit complaining. The pulse within me tells that she is the embodiment of evil. Really? I won't tend to stay quiet and get exterminated. I'll struggle until the very last moment. Wait. I'm sure she's not a bad person. I'll protect you to the end. Alright. With that, I think we call it good for session 1 of the Revisit of Murasaki. Very, very happy with my progress here. And should be able to clean up all the rest of this in one stream, probably. I will need to do a little bit of silly grinding by just like spending all of my bombs in a level and then quitting, things like that. But nonetheless, thank y'all for joining me, and hopefully y'all can see some of the reasons I find this game incredibly special. And then in addition, I think there's even a lot more to get out of this game by viewing it in the lens of other works by Katatema. Katatema's whole, not discography, but what's the term for this? Their whole body of work has certain feelings and certain sort of emotions baked into it. And certain just like game design philosophies that I find really fascinating. One of those things where you can just say, yeah, that's a Katatema game, alright. Catalog, that's a good word for it. So, let's see who I can raid to. Call Me Amarok just started playing Getting Over with Bennett Foddy and seems to be making good progress. Tell her the slime sent you, or if I could come up with a quote from Murasaki off the cuff, I would say that's the raid quote. But been fun as always, thanks for streaming. You know, it's lovely to play this game and see a bunch of folks saying goodbye at the end of it. And I hope you enjoyed watching and learning about this game. This game means a lot to me, and I hope that maybe it'll mean a lot to you. That's my goal. to another place.